or anything. So within a certain mile radius of wherever they work to wherever the bus stop, the bus stop or the bus line ends, the trip is from there to that location. Because I've used that type of service, like I say, in Atlanta, and it's not, it's just a code that you put in. And I think it gives like a credit of, I don't know how much a month, but it's very useful because some of the locations that I was going to, the bus doesn't go in that vicinity far enough that it's not a long walk. Like it's not a 2 or 3 mile walk.
We don't have a program like that.
Cause say for instance, I'm gonna give you a for instance. If a person has and I've noticed this also, I don't know how these girls do it, or the people that use Section 8 do it. But if they have to go out to the office that is located, in between Pinellas Park and Clearwater, I forgot the name of the location, but where the Section 8 housing, all the board meetings take place. If they have to go there, there is not a bus that goes back in there. You do know that. And so these are low income people. So how do they actually get to a board meeting if they want to sit in and listen on a board meeting or things of that nature, right? So the bus stops and it's not really walkable. I've walked it, but it's not walkable. So how does a person get back there? And so these are the questions that, like, if they have a board meeting regarding some issues that they're having with their Section 8, okay? How do they get to a meeting, right? And so you don't have a bus that goes back up in there, and it's really, the roadways are not really safe enough for a bus to go back in there, but cars come back in and out of there all the time. So that's where this type of service would be useful. So that's what I'm speaking of, to give you an example.
So that question, are people able to get back there? Because I heard a question, it was how are people able to get back there? And I don't know if that was a rhetorical question, but I would love to hear an answer.
What's the address again? I need to check. So we have, I don't think the bus goes back there, I think you're right. So no, unless you qualify for our access program.
Yeah, you have to be disabled. These, the people aren't disabled.
A physical disability.
Yeah, they're not physically disabled, so how would they get back there if they have
Without that, we
Yeah.
don't have a bus there.
Yeah, so.
And I think what you're describing is a very useful program, but for our agency, it ultimately comes down to cost. Per ride, Uber costs us $20 to $40 just for every individual ride, compared to about $7 per bus ride on average, and on a fixed budget. Because of how useful that program is, most people would use it, and it would get very expensive. That's what larger agencies like MARTA can afford, like Dallas and Texas with DART. They have a very similar program, but there's not a lot of mid-sized agencies equivalent to PSTA size that can afford programs like that.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Are you on the Financing and Budgeting Committee?
No.
Okay, so you're speaking relatively. Okay, thank you.
Intimately with our budget. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We do have a question that came in from the chat. They might have joined late, and so I think you alluded to it, but I just want to ask it. It says, why is there not a transfer ticket to be given out if you have to take more than one bus to get where you need to go?
Yeah, so for us, if you use the Flamingo app, if you use a Flamingo card that you can get from any of our transit centers, if you use a credit card, a debit card, any of that things, you can just tap on the bus and it caps at $5 a day. So we don't have a transfer, but at $2.25 a ride, your first ride is $2.25, your second is $2.25, your third is 50 cents, and every ride after that is free. So we don't have transfers, but we did implement a day cap. And so most agencies that do transfers don't also have day caps. It's typically one or the other, and we have a day cap.
I have another question. How unconstitutional is it for you not to accept cash on some of these routes? Because the Suncoast Sunrunner only accepts credit cards or the Flamingo card. Now, if someone has cash, they can't ride the Flamingo. And, not only is it unconstitutional, it just doesn't make sense, because that is a tourist transit line, right? Because it goes from the beaches to downtown, from downtown to the beaches. Tourists don't always have, you know, a credit card. So if they have multiple means of currency, you know, why aren't you accepting it?
That was a decision made at PSTA, probably 2020, maybe earlier than that, to do cashless on that bus. I can't answer for why that decision was made, but you are correct that the Sunrunner is completely cashless.
Are all the buses cashless or just the Sunrunner?
No, it's just the Sunrunner.
Okay.